kids, welcome to my short guitar lesson on Texas blues. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about the 5 notes that are in that house pattern that was on the previous page of this learning module. Those 5 notes are essentially what the Texas blues players love to solo in. Everybody knows the pentatonic scale if we were playing in A. The pentatonic scale for A goes... And that scale is very popular among rock and roll, heavy metal, and blues. The Texas blues is a little bit different than that. The Texas blues takes what I call tail notes off that scale and moves a position over to make that house shape from the previous page in this learning module. If we're soloing in A, these are the 5 notes in that house pattern. I encourage you to bend around a little bit because blues has a lot to do with bending notes. You've probably heard a lot of So when you bend, you want to bend upwards, and a lot of times I use more than one finger. So a lot of people might just want to bend like this, but there's not a lot of control in that, so I like to use all 3 fingers. In fact, when I'm done, just that finger is also one of the notes in your scale. So I can go... Now you can play these 5 notes in any order, and if one of the notes sounds sour, it's just because you're not following along with the chord progression in the rhythm. But I encourage you to bend around. There's 2 notes that you really don't want to bend, and you'll find that out through experimenting. It's this note. That just doesn't work. And this one, the one on the top, the one at the very roof of the house, you can just kind of tell that it doesn't sound right. So you can bend that one, you can bend that one, and you can bend that one. So I encourage you to bend around. Blues is all about bending. Now, we're only talking about 5 notes here. And when we only talk about 5 notes, a lot of soloists say, well, I would like to solo with more notes than just 5. Well, blues isn't about all the notes that you can fit into a scale. Blues is more about the feel of the notes. And a lot of people feel that blues players are sloppy, but they're not necessarily sloppy. They just want to play with the feel of the song, and they want to get their emotions and aggressions out with their soloing. And it doesn't take a lot of notes to do that. Stevie Ray Vaughan sometimes bends this string up, and he grabs the next string up, so it ends up being... So, it's not always considered sloppy. Sometimes it's considered emotional. Now I'm going to play you some of those soloing techniques with a backing track. The previous example was more of a slow blues. Here's what that house shape looks like on a little bit faster of blues. This concludes my short guitar lesson on Texas blues. I hope you learned a couple new licks in the lesson, and I encourage you to experiment with blues soloing in any scale, not just this one. But I hope you learned something with the house shape and some different things you can do to it, as well as the feel of blues soloing. Until next time, I'm Nick Bongers, and keep the blues alive.